During Women's History Month, we're highlighting women leaders through our Women of MoneyGram series. And this series will be highlighting different women in our company. And today we're going to have a conversation with our supervisor in IT incident management, Iffat Kazi. Again, my name is Prisma Garcia. I'm social impact strategist, and I'm happy to welcome Iffat here. And we're going to start off by asking her to tell us a little bit more about herself.
Hey Prisma, thanks for inviting me. So, yes, I am Iffat Kazi and I'm working as a supervisor for the IT incident management team with MoneyGram. And I am with MoneyGram for the last 3 years. I am based in India and I am a virtual employee, and it's been an incredible experience with MoneyGram. And I'm looking forward for chatting with you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, I'm happy to have this conversation and learn more about you. I know that time flies here at MoneyGram, but what made you choose MoneyGram as a company?
So to begin with, I was more always carried away by employee-centric companies, the one that do not just care about, getting work done in terms of return of pay, but something that believes in employees' growth, something that believes in giving a good balance to company. I would say I had a good technical oriented job, but there was a little difficulty when it came to work-life balance, and I was opting to move to a better opportunity. That's when I got this from MoneyGram. And when I read about this company, honestly, that was the first time I was introduced by the name. But when they approached and along with the job description, they were focused on talking about the benefits that the employees will get in terms of working from home, in terms of flexibility of work hours. I was so really excited. And then I read about the company, and I read about how they take their customers and their products and services so seriously, and they work mostly on the trust building part of every aspect. And I kind of felt, oh, this is the company where I can think about moving, and this is something that would be a good opportunity. That's how I landed in MoneyGram.
Wonderful. What do you love most about what you do here at MoneyGram?
Well, to honestly, if I have to talk about work, I would rather talk about people, because I mean, this is not my first company, obviously. I have changed companies in my past, but the most highlighting part about this company is the management, the leadership, or I would say the people that I work with. This is not an exaggeration or promotion, honestly. But the thing is, they all together give us an environment through which you can find your own potential and love doing what you're doing and keep growing into it. So the best part is the environment that they are providing for everybody to be the better self of your own version.
Wonderful. And that leads me to my next question because you mentioned growth. So, in
Yes.
terms of your professional success here at MoneyGram, what are you most proud of?
So, if I have to talk about professional success, I'm going to talk about two levels. One is at personal level, and one is at a team level. So at a personal level, I would say this has been an incredible journey. I started as a level two engineer here. I would say analyst, not seriously an engineer. And I saw some good opportunities, and I started learning what has been given to me in my plate. And the best part was I was getting the perfect guidance that was required, and I was given the right mentorship here. And eventually I was able to grow to a position of supervisor now. So that's really a great professional success story, I would say, from a personal level. And if I have to talk about a team level, in the 3 years of my work in this team, I have not changed my team. So I have been working in the same team for 3+ years, and I have seen drastic changes, I would say. The changes that have helped us become more productive, right from streamlining the processes in a manner where we work very efficiently. When I say efficiently, we are a team which works in high priority cases. We are the customer support aspect of the company, but we work with major incidents. So something that is having high criticality, product-based issues, which is kind of, having major issues at our agent end. So for this reasons, we have to ensure the services that we are providing or the support that we are providing is apt, efficient, perfect, and that gives a satisfaction to the customer when they are approaching to us for customer support. And I think over the last 2 years, we have had some leadership changes and a great, I would say, guidance or management done by Jerry and Veronica, and that has changed our team altogether. In a manner, we are supporting the agents much better than before. We are just not highlighting on the major aspect of our role, that is of major incident, but we are also taking every small issues that come to us from our important partners very seriously and working on recovery. So this has been a great, I would say, a success when it comes from perspective of team.
Wonderful. And I think that is pairs very well with the journey, right? The journey that you've had not only here at MoneyGram, but at other companies in terms of when you think back, I don't know how many years that may be, you think back to, or your early career, right? Maybe different positions, maybe even university, college. Where do you see your career headed and your professional journey headed from your current vantage point as compared to when you first started? Or maybe there's an aha moment that you'd want to share.
Well, I'm going to be very honest. This may sound like a child, but this company has been nothing but a blessing for me. This is again not an exaggeration. I'm repeating this word because I think when I talk about MoneyGram, I really talk a lot positive about it. The reason is this has been like a, I would say, they call it break point in stock market. So something like that. So if I go back, like I've been working for 7+ years, and I kind of had a vision for myself where I'll be, growing and thriving, and I being at a position after some years, may that be from a financial perspective or a personal growth perspective. But when I started MoneyGram, the pace that I was thinking about myself automatically increased. It has become so much faster. So the point, if I have to talk about, if I go back, like thinking what I would be in 7 years, I have exceeded that point at the moment. And I am really amazed to see there were actually higher opportunities. And I was maybe under degrading myself or undervaluing myself. But thanks to MoneyGram, that I'm able to identify my potential and identify my worth and work on the skills that makes me grow further. So at the moment, I'm at a very, I would say, a peak point from where I am seeing nothing but more success and more growth going forward. So, yep, MoneyGram has been always a good thing for me.
Yes, I could definitely agree in terms of my own career. But you said this may sound like a kid. Well, I want to go back to when you were little. What did you want to be when you were little, right? We always say, when I grow up, I want to be this. What was that for you?
Well, honestly, yeah, I was like an ordinary kid. So obviously, the thing that was given me as a toy is something that I wanted to be. So I remember having a very nice doctor set. So when I was kid, I always aspired to become a doctor. But eventually, when I actually started learning up, and I think during my a little high school days is when the computers were in a boom. So
Mm.
as a little kid, I wanted to be a doctor, but when computers came into our life, more, I would say, from a regular perspective than being a fancy thing for some few people, I inculcated a lot of interest in computers. And I think at a very early high school stage, I would use the word decided that I wanted to make something. I didn't know what, but I wanted to make a career into IT. And eventually, as I started learning it, I got a clarity of my path of what I wanted to do and what field I wanted to go into it. And I started pursuing my career accordingly. So, yes, it was a little different when it was a kid. So, it was a great shift from doctor to an IT field engineer.
Yes, it's still a STEM profession, of course, but
True.
I want to ask then, you maybe had, being a doctor in mind, but that changed over the course of years. What advice do you have to younger women or little girls or kids in college, what advice do you have to them in terms of their field, industry, or just any general professional advice?
Well, I would say if I have to give a general advice to women, no matter where we are, we still have a little bit of barriers of our own. May that be region wise, may that be culture wise, or may that be professional wise. We have to keep striving towards it. We have to try to give our best. I wouldn't say you aim for something and that is some aim for a person that you want to become. Try to be that person. But if in case you're not becoming that person, just become a best version of yours that's relating with that person. Do not stop trying, and there will be obstacles. Do the best that you can do. You may not achieve exactly what you want, but definitely you will be in a better position from where you have started. So try to overcome problems, outcomes. We women tend to be a little bit emotional, no matter how practical or how growing we are. But there is a lot percentage of women who are a bit get carried away on their emotional side. So if in case there are situations, they go back and it becomes very difficult them to start again. I have seen many women stop their life then and there and, go back to a routine which they should have not. So if in case you land into that situation, take your time, pause there. I have taken a good pause in my life. Honestly, I didn't have some glorious moments all the time. I had my days. They were difficult. I took a pause. I used to regret, like, I may have been different if I had not taken that pause, but I still feel even after that pause, I was able to revive myself and come back to my career, choose the best path that was available in front of me, and eventually grow. So yes, if there is anything that's happening, any hardship, just face it, take some time, and come back again.
Yes, yeah, I think that's what we all learn as people through the years, right? How to take
That's
our
right.
time and focus, and it's gonna be okay. So with that, I want to shift a little bit to get into some fun questions here, lightning round questions. What is your favorite book or movie?
Oh my God. I am not somebody who is very much into movies. I do reading though, and when it comes to movies, I do watch documentaries. So I am more of a person who would like to see or watch something that's a real life experience, like somebody like, trying to see how people in remote places do things. They are a daily course of life. It's not something fancy, but I want to see that how, I mean, that kinds of gives an insight of how privileged you are and what are the benefits that you are taking for granted. So I am more into that part. So I watch a lot of documentaries, as I said. So, and this is all circulating around women life. So, the life
Yes.
of women in Iran, for example, there is a channel that I watch and they kind of showcase their daily course. There is nothing out of ordinary, honestly. It's how they just leave, get prepare the food. Even for preparing the food, they have to get the content, like the water from some place that's very far, the hardship that they have to take, which is fancy to watch honestly on a screen. But if you have to lead that, it's very difficult. So I do like watching all these kind of series and when if I have to talk about books, oh my God, I used to watch Harry Potter. I read Harry Potter a lot as
Harry
a kid.
Potter.
Yes, but it's been a while that I have moved on from fictional concepts. So now I read a lot of management books. And a recent read that I'm right now doing is Psychology of Money, and there is another money management principles. I don't remember by who. I'm sorry. I'm very bad with remembering the names.
No worries. That's perfect. I think there are definitely opportunities to grow through books, through movies, through different
True.
means. In terms of your hobbies, like tell me like something fun that you do outside of work.
Oh my God, I love this part in every conversation. I I do a lot many things, honestly. I mean, not many things, but I do a couple of things. So to start with, I am a little bit on a creative side. So I do craft work like paper quilling. So I'm used to make a lot of jewelry, greeting cards on a good scale. And then I eventually moved to crocheting. I crochet blankets, I crochet jackets. So this is something which I love to do. And besides this, I do a lot of volunteering work. So when I talk about volunteering work, I volunteer with two organizations. One is Robin Hood Army, and another is Team Everest. So one organization is about food giving, so food donation, like, you prepare food and distribute it among the underprivileged and needy. And I'm using this to in the part of hobbies because it's something that I love to do. Hobbies is something that you like to do from your heart. So this is something that I love to do. So yes, these association volunteering works are something I love to do.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. That's definitely up my alley and as part of the social impact team. And definitely like to remind employees that we have two community PTO days a year. So thank you for
Yes,
sharing that. And it definitely is maybe even beyond a hobby, right? Because it is something that we're so close to, especially when you
right.
find those organizations that speak to you. So in terms of this month, right? We're focused on women, Women's History Month. The for allies, right? We know that this is a month for everyone, right? Everyone to recognize women, to think back in terms of history, but it's obviously that you mentioned earlier, there are perhaps some challenges still. So I want to ask you, for allies, how can they better support women through these changing times? What is the impact of that allyship on our advancement as women?
Well, yes, the times have definitely changed, especially after the pandemic. The work culture has changed. As an Indian woman working for a remote on-site employer, I'm going to focus on the parts which I receive from my allies in this company that has helped me in my advancement. I would like to promote all those things. When I say promoting things that I have received is what I have got from my work culture, from the women in my life, in my work life, is they recognize the differences of cultural background, the challenges that we have at a personal life status. May that be work zone differences. Since I work in India, we have different holidays, we have different time aspects, we celebrate different things. So there is a lot of encouragement that is provided by my team on in such situations. Just like, if I have to give a specific example, we are allowed to take all our Indian holidays to celebrate our wide culture, while the people from the counterpart, that is from US in my team, they work for us and they try to ensure things are covered up so well that we do not have to compromise on that. So this is something that every woman should be doing. It's something that helps other women to grow. The best thing is providing the best support in workplaces, especially if you have women who are mothers, somebody who have families. And we have such examples in my team, and I've got tremendous support from my manager in such situation to provide them the best that we can. And I think that is something that I always support and I will always promote, and every woman should.
Yes, of course. This is beautiful because I think that we are a global company, definitely a
Right.
global company in many parts of the world, and we, make sure that we are able to have people that are sleeping, that are enjoying different holidays, and there's some beauty to learning about the different celebrations and activities, traditions that happen around the globe. But thank you for highlighting that. In terms of the history part, though, I'd like to know, is there a woman from history that you find particularly inspiring or who has inspired you? It doesn't necessarily have to be someone that all of us would know about. It might just be someone in your life.
Well, uh, this is something like the books and movies. I don't have one to pick
Oh, yes, too
because
many.
too many. Because rather than taking one person as an idol, I take the best part from their person, from that person, and I get inspired. So there will be a woman I get inspired because one of the good qualities that they're exhibiting, and it's not necessary has to be the whole personality, but yes, some aspect. But still, if I have to highlight, I would, I mean, since I have got an opportunity and we are multicultural company, I want to highlight about a woman from India, Indian history, and I'm talking about the times of freedom fight. So we have Rani Lakshmi Bai from Jhansi. So we have been taught in our history about this lady who has been so courageous, and she fought the freedom fight. She was part of the freedom fight for India. And the reason why I want to highlight her, she was portrayed as a woman who had a good balance with her life as well as protecting her kingdom. So it has been said that this woman used to strap her son on her back and go for fights. She had lost her husband. So it's like she is the perfect example of woman who is portraying a part where she is fighting for the country as well as taking care of her life. So that's what womanhood is about. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
definitely
something.
about that leadership. I'm gonna ask you one question, and I want you to think about it in terms of your position at MoneyGram, in terms of IT, which is in fact heavily male dominated in many countries and many companies. And so, how do you define success for a woman in IT?
If I have to talk about success, it's different. Like if I have to talk on a generic sense, people think going up the ladder, from a term of position, from a term of finance, or uh, just growing in terms of change of what do you say, designation is success. But I think that's really not a success. Success is moving from your current personal progress point to a next point. So if you have thought of a vision for yourself and you have achieved that vision, that's well and good. If you are going beyond that vision, it's still excellent. But for some reason, if you're not reaching that vision, but you are something better, a better version of what you have been when you decided this vision, I still think that's a success. So people are going to have a lot of stereotyping in IT when it comes to women. It has changed. It has changed, but still a long way to go. People do still, look differently at you if you are a woman at a technical team, in a technical team in IT. They still think that, oh, you may not understand all of the part, and it becomes difficult for, because you are always trying to prove it. So let's try not to impress people. Try to just better yourself. That's the best definition of success, I think.
Yes, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Iffat, for this time you've spent with me and sharing your story with everyone. Of course, I want to mention that there are many women in the company, and at MoneyGram, we continue to observe and highlight the contributions of women in history and at the company and our contemporary society. In the month of March, we will continue to highlight different women and across the globe, of course. And we also want to recognize International Women's Day, which is coming up here, March 8th. And
That's
so
right.
I appreciate your time today, and I hope that you will continue leading and inspiring other women and individuals here at MoneyGram. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prisma. Thank you for inviting and giving this opportunity. And happy Women's Day in advance to you.
Thank you. Thank you.